how's it going? This is DemonDriver here, and I'm going to show you how to take regular automotive pinstripe and add it to your RC airplane like the pinstripe right here on this JAL Convair 880. Right here and up towards the nose we have pinstripe, and this is regular automotive pinstripe from a store, from an automotive store that you see on a regular car. That pinstripe, you can take that and apply that to your RC airplane. So let's get cracking. We're going to do the other side. We're going to put that stripe on the right side right now, okay? So join me, this is DemonDriver, and I'm going to show you how to take regular automotive pinstripe and apply it to your RC airplane, any RC airplane you have. All right, let's get started, and thanks for joining me. Come on.
風に聞いてたいつかの噂は私一人で忘れていたけど一度心が逃げてしまえば男のあなたには素敵な声も忘れるな。
Alright, so here is the Japan Airlines Convair 880, and obviously you can see right off the bat what we're going to be doing. Now if you look here, this is the left side. The left side's done. On the Convair 880 you have a small, on the JAL you have a small thin stripe, and then you have a thicker stripe. Now this is good because on most automotive pinstripes you have a thin pinstripe on the top and then a wider one on the bottom. Now what you do is you cut this in half in order to give us this is the main upper pinstripe that runs down the JAL paint scheme. Now this is the same on the DC-8, the YS-11, the 727, the DC-7. It's basically the same. Now on some DC-8s the red stripe was on the bottom. Okay, now I'm going to be building probably next year the Fuji DC-8, and I'm going to add that variation, but the JAL is the same. All Japan Airlines airliners are named after towns, either in the United States or in Japan, mainly Japan. And but I changed it where I name my 880 after the Japanese actress Reiko Kasahara from the 1960s, early 70s. Naming planes after women is kind of good luck for me. I like doing that. But in this video what we're going to do is we're going to add this pinstripe. Okay, let's do the nose section first, and we're going to add this pinstripe and run this all the way back. See, we already have the main, we have the red and the dark blue. We have that already on. But in order to get these windows painted on, okay, which I use a stencil, I basically put that on and then paint the windows straight on. I need to get the pinstripe on first. So let's attack that right now. Let's get that on there, and let's get that done. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy exactly what's on this side of the JAL 880's nose, and what I use are these calipers. I use these calipers to give me, you know, a precise measurement of the lower stripe. That's what we're going to start out with first. The lower stripe, its distance from the bottom of the navy blue stripe to there. I use this caliper to basically give me a memory as to the distance from where it starts down to right there. So that's what we're going to do. So then what I do is I then take a I take my caliper, I take my pen, and I transfer over to the other side of the 880's nose, And then what I do is I basically, I'm now going to transfer this over, and I use the caliper to get that right. That's where the caliper comes in handy. See, I take the caliper and I place it right there, and it gives me a memory. It gives me an instant, and I take my little pen and I make a mark right on the actual, right on the navy blue monocoat. It's not going to damage anything, mind you, but it's going to give me a little mark. It's going to give me a little mark where I can, there we are, and then I know that I can run my thin pinstripe. I can run my thin pinstripe down the straight down, and then match up with this. So that's what we're going to do right now. Well, first let's peel apart the pinstripe. Let me show you how to do that. All right, now let's look at different brands of pinstripe. These are older pinstripes. This is a navy blue pinstripe, dark blue from Pinstripe. These are all Automotive. Here's more Pinstripe. Here's Cal stripes. These are kind of a brownish maroon right there. And then this is what you're going to find nowadays. This is a company, this is called, again, Pinstripe, but we have a red right here. We've got a gold. And these are really great for, just adding that flair to your RC airplane, whether it's a scale or an airliner or warbird. But let me show you, this is the white that we have from Pinstripe, and this is what we're going to apply to our JAL 880. So what I do is I take the pinstripe. You got your two. You got your thick and your wide and your thin. See it? Your wide and your thin. Your wide and your thin. So I'm gonna get the thin away from the. I'm gonna cut the thin stripe, and I already have some started here away from the wide stripe. So I just take a scissor. And I just cut. See what I'm doing? I'm just cutting straight down in between the two. Now, the entire strip is a sticker, so you can pull the whole thing off if you want and use it as a sticker. Use the whole thing, the wide and the narrow one. So I just cut the two apart as far as I need and as long as I need. And what you get is your thin stripe. You get that. You get what you need. And so I kind of get an idea for how much I'm going to need for the lower nose of the 880, and I just go ahead and guesstimate that. I cut it. All right, so let's go transfer it and let's go put it onto the plane. All right, so what I need to do is I'm going from this pinstripe here, okay, from where it starts there on the left side, and I need to go from here all the way to where I made my little mark with the pen. So I take the pinstripe, all right, and I peel it away. I peel this pinstripe away, and I need to really judge, what you can do is you can go ahead and run it with your hands at first. Now, where the circle of the JAL Swan is, it's kind of angled. It's, angling away. So what I need to do is I need to take the pinstripe and sort of angle it to match the curvature of the JAL Swan, of the circle. So I kind of match it up to where it's going to go on here, and I match that up, and then I kind of run it. I first do a mock run, and I meet it up with the other stripe, and then I kind of mark that off with my thumb, like right there, and I go ahead and take a scissor and I cut a little bit over that, so I have a little bit of leeway. I have a little bit of if I fuck up, excuse my language, if I screw up, I can go ahead and clear that up. So let me go ahead and let's start that. So I pulled away the backing of the pinstripe, and see what I do is I come in and I want to get this perfectly straight. Make sure you got any dirt or anything off of the navy blue monocoat. And what I'm doing here, and let me see if I can get you guys into a better position so I'm not blocking the camera. What I'm doing is I'm getting in here and I'm lining it up with my mark. There it is. A little hard to see because it's navy blue. And I go ahead and I just run it along with my thumb and I press it in, and I'm making sure that I'm contouring it with the lower navy blue, because I don't want to screw up too much and get it where it's not even. You understand what I'm saying? Has to be even with the navy blue, but then it has to come in and meet perfectly the other stripe. See what I'm saying? It has to come in and meet this stripe perfectly, because if I screw this up, it's really gonna be noticeable. So I gotta come in and meet this perfectly. See what I gotta do? Look. Let me get you real close here. You're like right up here with me. There you go. Look. I gotta get this to match and meet that. Boom, there we go. Look at that. See that? Look at that. I gotta meet it right in there. And then what I have to do is I gotta come in and cut it right there. I gotta snip that. I gotta snip it. See what I gotta do? Come in with a scissor and I gotta cut that sucker right there, and I gotta do it perfectly, because if I screw this up, boom, look at that. That is damn near perfect. I got this old, I'm working on a Japanese airplane, so I might as well, it's old Mitutoyo caliper. This is real old. This is an old dial. I don't know if some people remember this, but this is the old caliper with the actual steam gauge. So these are kind of hard to read sometimes in order to get these right, but it always goes back to the 0. But, you know, for this is fine. And what you do is, of course, you use a caliper again, and you come back in, and you just, I want to get the upper wider, you know, stripe. So again, I use the caliper, and for this, it has a fastener, so you tighten that. This gives you a memory. This is easier than using a ruler in your hand and kind of guesstimating, because this gets it perfect every time. So then again, I come back in, right? I come back in and I mark off again with the pen where that's going to be. Right there. Mark it off with the pen. You can actually use the caliper to put a little ding right there that you'll notice, but other people won't. Right there. There it is, and I can see it now. Pretty cool. Now, I noticed here that I'm a little bit overshot with this corner right here. It's a little too far over that way, so I'm going to have to pick it up. I'm going to have to pick it up, and I'm going to have to, you know, this is the good thing about a pinstripe that you can actually play with, because you can actually correct it. Stuck on there. Now, what you can do is you can remove the plastic that's around it. You can actually remove that if you want to. I don't always like doing that, because it leaves a bare, it can, you know, it can leave the pinstripe bare and impervious to dirt. So, especially when you're first building the plane, the plastic, you want to leave it on there at sometimes. You know, there's a reason for it to be there, and then sometimes you can remove it. If you don't like it, you just remove the plastic. You just peel the protective plastic up and away off the pinstripe. But the plastic helps the pinstripe stick to the plane. So, you know, so what I want to do is I want to come in and I want to just straighten this sucker out a little bit. This is just, it's a little bit too far in, so I take an X-Acto knife. This is tough. You can't screw this up here. All right, let's go down with it. You mother. Come on, man. Work with me, baby. Come on, Reiko. Work with me, honey. Work with me, baby. There we go. So we cut that right there. All right. There we go. That's a little bit better. That's a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is I come back in with my wide stripe. I cut away and segregate my wide stripe because that's the next piece of the puzzle. Okay, so what I'm doing once again, is I'm coming in from here with the wide stripe and I'm going to meet up with this stripe here. But I have to keep it all straight and I have to keep it all symmetrical to the other side. So if I screw that up, it's just not, you're going to notice it, you're really going to notice it, and it's going to be like, oh, come on, Chris, what'd you do? What'd you do, Chris? I thought you said you knew what you were doing here, buddy. So I would like to think I know what I'm doing. So let's go ahead and let's peel the wide stripe. Let's first make sure that it makes sense and it lines up with that, and it does. Okay, good. Good, 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 good. Beautiful, nice. That's what I like. So let's line this crap up. Let's get it in there, baby. Alright, so we peel it away from its backing, and what we do is we come in. I know where I got that line. I mark that off, and I just walk it with my thumb, and I bring it in, trying to keep it perfectly straight with the line below it, with the pinstripe below it. That's crucial. And I'm just taking my thumb, and I'm just guiding it along, guiding it along, very nice and very easy. See, if you're doing curves, watch what I'm doing. You hold with one thumb when you're pinstriping around a curve. Alright, you're pinstriping around a curve and you want to make a curve with your pinstripe. You take your thumb, place it down on the pinstripe to place it down onto the surface, but then leaving this portion up and around, you can turn. You can turn. You can go around corners and you can do some pretty nice stuff. So, but what I'm doing here is I'm trying to meet this line up with this line. You see? I'm sorry I can't speak kanji or Japanese for my Japanese friends watching right now. I'm not fluent in Japanese, so apologize for that. But you see what I'm doing. It's not like you don't understand what I'm doing because you're watching me. But for my English friends and American friends, you understand what I'm saying, and that's good. You know, it's good I'm not talking with like a New York accent over here, you know, talking about. Or I'm talking like a southerner and then you can't understand me. I'm talking with a Ukrainian Russian voice and then you really don't know what's going on. So that's perfect. That's exactly what I want. So I line it up and I look at it and I eyeball it and I'm like, you know what? That's pretty damn good. That's pretty good. Pretty good. There's some areas of improvement and some things I'm going to have to work. But for this is good enough. It's good. It's good. I like what I see. I'm happy. All right, so what I do is I come back in with my scissor, and I've got overrun, and that's okay, and that's what you want. And I come back in with my scissor, and I just line this sucker up right there, and I snip that up, and I'm a little bit, you see what I did? I'm a little bit over it, and I want to clean that up. So, I come back in with my scissor, and I'm going to clean this up right here. I'm going to clean this up for you, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. There we go. There we are. You don't want to leave any loose ends. You know, when you're investigating crime in L.A., you just want to make sure that you get all that stuff straight. Let me be Frank. Frank Columbo. All right, there we go. Look at that. Huh? Perfect. Look at that. Lines up perfectly, and you get that V. A little bit of an overrun. Let me really straighten this out. It's like microsurgery. There we go. Look at that. Boom. See that? Yeah, baby. So that is how you do that. That is how you do that. That's how you get the stripe. See? Look at that. That's how you pinstripe. Now, of course, I have to go from there back. But that's all, you know, that's self-explanatory. That's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. And, yeah. Well, this is DemonDriver, and that's how you add pinstripe to your RC airplane. It's just that easy. Or just that hard. It's all up to you. You can make it as hard as you want or as easy as you want. And I think you just saw by the video you just watched, it's really not that hard. It's all about a little bit of a steady hand and basically some patience and a good caliper, and you could add Pinstripe to any RC project, any plane you're building. Well, this is DemonDriver. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. God bless. Take care.